I want to ask Cenk a couple of questions about Trump moving forward and what we just went through really fast. The first being something that we brought up in our coverage earlier, but we didn't really get into. We're talking about the pardons and breaking down the sort of people that he pardoned. He didn't pardon himself, and he didn't pardon his kids. He didn't pardon Rudy Giuliani. Why? And those might be different answers maybe, but why do you think he didn't do that? Like something that in theory could protect him from a lot of trouble going forward that he could have done, but didn't. Why?
So number one, he knows that his main problem is in New York and that he can't pardon himself out of New York crimes. Those are state crimes, not federal crimes. So it makes it slightly pointless to pardon yourself. That's where his finances were, Deutsche Bank, that's where all of his trouble is, okay? So, but number two, and the reason why he chose not to do it anyway, even though he would have gotten some benefit out of being pardoned from the federal crimes, is because the one thing Donald Trump understands, and what I've always given him credit for, is how the spotlight works and how media works. So he knows if he pardons himself, everyone is talking about why Donald Trump pardoned himself and what crimes and what criminality is Trump excusing for himself. He knows that's terrible optics. If you're having a debate about what crimes Donald Trump has done, Trump loses that by definition. And so he didn't want that optics. And since it was going to be largely pointless, I think that's why he didn't do it.
So yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing that occurs to me, but for his actual base, how easy would it be for him to say, because of the 4-year witch hunt the deep state has perpetrated against me, I am forced to pardon myself for crimes I haven't committed just to keep the deep state at bay? Couldn't he say that as a defense? I feel like red hatters would lap that up.
Look, he could do anything and say anything, so it doesn't matter. The immovable 1/3 of the country that loves him, he could shoot their mom on Fifth Avenue right in front of their eyes and say, "I did it for you," and they would believe it in a second. Instantly they would believe it. It reminds me of a kid that joined a frat in the college that I went to, and he said, "I would kill my mom for my frat," and it was one of the most disturbing things that I've ever heard. Wow. And that is how cults work. So they would do it for Trump. So I hear you, John, that he could have come up with an excuse for it, but nonetheless, the conversation would have been about what kind of a criminal is Donald Trump. And he had enough sense to know that that's not a conversation he wants to be in.
Okay. And like I said earlier, I want to remind people, and this is the sort of thing that stops me from becoming more popular. I was wrong about that. I predicted yesterday that he would. I think a lot of people did. There was a lot of reason to believe, but he didn't. So maybe credit to him. I don't know, just in terms of savviness. Super fast follow-up question though, Cenk. We've been sort of wondering, like nobody even remembers this because it was a billion years ago and time doesn't exist before Trump became president. But there was a period when 2IT was so frustrated with Donald Trump and his racist conspiracy theories that we used to blur his face whenever he would be on screen. Are we returning to that, or have we moved way past that as a country and as a company?
Yeah, so actually to be slightly more accurate, in the beginning we had him completely banned, like Ann Coulter.
That's true.
We would never speak of him. When he started running for president and was a real candidate and had a chance of winning, we blurred his face. And then once he actually started winning, we unblurred his face because we had no choice because we do news. And so before it wasn't news because it was just a game that Donald Trump was playing for his personal enrichment. Nothing he said he meant. So it was that was our news judgment not to cover him because it was all a show. Yeah. It's like we wouldn't cover a reality show as actual news, right? And so will we go back to banning him? No, because whether we like it or not, he is still news. There's no question about it. 1/3 of the country loves him and wants him to be dictator. That's news.
Okay. Are you not reasonable? For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.